Xavi Simons, that move is reported still, so nothing official yet. We've been doing these all summer long, and, I'm just kind of feeling for Enzo Maresca. He doesn't get those fun shades that everyone else seems to get.
That's messed up.
Future still looks bright, right? With a lot of these youngsters, a lot of the names you see on that list come in at an average age of 20. And this Chelsea project, Aaron, has really turned heads these last couple of seasons. So what's your take so far on the Blues' philosophy and how they've approached these transfers?
It's so singularly unique because no other club in football can do this. Todd Bowley, billionaire, he can kind of just throw money at the wall. They've got an incredible academy system where they can pull players up into the first team or sell them so they can kind of keep kicking that PSR can down the road. They will buy 3/4 of the best 18 to 21-year-olds in the world, and then a couple of them get to the first team. But it's working. Enzo Maresca has done an incredible job of sorting through that entire squad, finding the best 11, 22, 23, whatever it is. I think he's a top manager. I think they will, again, have a very, very good season. They've got the quality. They've addressed a couple issues, left back depth. My biggest question for them is goalkeeper. I don't know if Robert Sanchez is a goalkeeper you can rely on to win a Premier League title, to win a Champions League trophy, to win an FA Cup. He can look like God on some days, and he can look like one of the worst goalkeepers.
In a Club World Cup final.
Yeah, and sometimes he can look like he doesn't know how to use his hands. But overall, as weird as you can kind of call it, the Chelsea project, it's working. I don't like it because I'm an Arsenal supporter. I don't really like the way they approach the market, but you have to say it's working overall if you want to count trophies, their transfer profit.
I feel like a bigger trophy is in store if you're spending this type of money. I
also agree,
right?
but they're lifting trophies, right?
Yeah, they won the Conference League last season. They won the Club World Cup. Maybe not the 2 trophies you'd be gunning for at the start of the season, but hardware is hardware, and I think it shows really well for Enzo Maresca and the direction he's taking this project. We talk about Aaron not liking it, but some of these young players seem to like it because they're choosing to go here. So why do you think that is?
Yeah, look, I don't know for Enzo Maresca there's any more woe is me, right? Because if you remember last year, they were at the top of the table and everyone said, oh, you might, you got a chance to win a Premier League. No, we're not a Premier League title winning team. There's no more of that anymore, right?
And then he complained all the Club World Cup.
Right, Club World Cup, it's too hot, the tournament, but they'll take the 100 plus, 121 million,
the whole thing.
Right? And spend it on a few players. The young players coming, though, that's the part that really surprises me. If you're bringing guys that are sort of in the middle of their lifespan in soccer, and you're giving them 8-year contracts, I can understand, like, okay, I'm going to set my family up. I still think at some point as a young player, you want to play. If you're Jamie Gittins, right, do you play in this team every week? Like, I know you got a big contract, but are you playing every single week? Because the last I checked, there's only 11 spots on the field. And the way they set this thing up, it's amazing the managerial job he has to do just to keep people happy.
Yeah.
Pep Guardiola has had this issue for years, and he's done a really good job with it. How do you keep everybody happy in this group?
Well, one of my biggest questions about this kid, Esteban, like, he's so talented. I want him to play. Is he going to play in, week out? He's so young. You can make the same argument for, like, a Gittins, right? They finally have a lot of depth in the striker position, like good depth, right? It's not just Nico Jackson and then figure it out. João Pedro proved to be good, and he has Premier League experience, right? And then Liam Delap was awesome in the moments that he came in. We got to see a little bit of a strong cameo from him in several games. And then you have Neto, who's really coming into his own. Chelsea in the last month of the season really bolstered the project because they won silverware. They made Champions League, which was more important. Honestly, I think finishing top 4 in that final match day of the season was probably more important for the long term than winning Club World Cup or winning Conference League, which they should have won Conference League, and great for them that they won Club World Cup. There's like this air of credibility now around the project, and if you look at their team in Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer, that's arguably one of the best midfields in the Prem. And then throw in the likes of Gittins, Estevao, João Pedro, Liam Delap, Pedro Neto. it's a really strong team, and they have to compete on almost all fronts.
Yeah, and you need that depth too, because if you want to go far in all these different competitions, you need to be able to rotate. But I want to focus more, Aaron, on Jamie Gittins. He is the focus of our Auto Trader Player Spotlight. Just 20 years old. Why does this guy have the potential to be special for Chelsea?
Yeah, he made a big leap last season for Dortmund. He went from scoring 2, 3, 4 goals a season, scored 12 goals last season. Really pacey player, good with both feet. Able to cut inside if he needs to. He can take it to the byline and get a cross in. Also, he's young and English. This is a massive piece for a club like Chelsea who need to have young English players. And if they sell him in a couple years, they will probably make a profit because his contract is so long. Tony, you asked why you think some of these guys might want to come to a Chelsea. I think Gittins is the perfect example of why you would come to Chelsea. He believes in himself. All of these guys think that they're born to made starters. They think that they're going to be the guy. They get to live in London. They get a long contract. They get paid. That's why.
Yeah, well, he was tied for second in goals last season in Dortmund, and will now be trying to, just make sure that he's a name that Enzo Maresca is looking to come in and make an impact on this team that has, as you said, so much depth. So here's a look at a possible 11. Guys, take us through it. I mean, what do you think is the best 11? Is this it for Chelsea?
Yeah.
I think during the season, through the season, we may see Cucurella's spot get taken by Hato. I think it could be a situational thing because Hato he's more physical. He's a stronger overall player, a better one-on-one defender. Cucurella has a spot in this side always because of his quality on the ball and the leadership qualities that he does show. I think also we may see Trevor Chalobah in this spot because he had a fantastic last season. I think he's really grown as a player overall. But other than that, I think it's probably right. We're going to see Malo Gusto probably more games than Reece James because he can't stay healthy.
Look at this depth.
Yeah,
Depth.
They have the depth. If you spend if you spend 1.5 billion or whatever, you should have some depth.
I just don't know. Again, when I look over there, like how do you put Chalobah there or put Badiashile there, right? Who a couple years ago when he first started at Chelsea, we're like, holy cow, what a player. Now, I said some mishaps, but a guy that probably thinks he can start on 95% of European teams. And Nkunku's another guy. Nicholas Jackson, wherever you fall with him as a center forward, probably can find a spot somewhere at a really good club in Europe. My question is, how does Enzo Maresca, who is relatively new to the Premier League and this sort of, I know he took Leicester City up and then makes the move, but he's shopping in a different aisle. He's playing with a different set of toys in his bin right now. How do you keep that side happy? Right, you're talking about Gusto going there. For Reece James, if it's injury, it's one thing because we've seen that the last couple of years. But you talk about their demise a year and a half ago started with his injuries, right? And then they started to fall. But my point is, from a manager standpoint, you don't have fringe players over there. You got guys who can start, Ali, in other places.
Well, here's how you keep that side happy. You keep winning, because once the results start to drop, that's where the frustration comes, where players think, well, I should be playing. If this isn't working, then it should be me. And that's where, Maresca has to continue to get the lineups right, and the team has to continue to find success.
I feel like similarly to Manchester City, who has a very deep squad as well. A lot of these players get playing time, but when the project is on course, and we've seen over the last 6-7 years, the project is very well on course, save for the anomaly that happened last season. Everyone's going to buy into the project, and I feel like because of the titles that were won in the last month, there is that credibility that Enzo Maresca knows what he's doing. Imagine if he would have fumbled Conference League and he would have fumbled Club World Cup. There'd be so many question marks going into the season, but now he's allowed to enter the 2025-2026 season with a lot of security. I kind of also just want to rehash Esteval's name. Pedro Neto in the Club World Cup final played on the left-hand side. That allows an opening space for Esteval on the right. Wherever Cole Palmer drifts, Esteval can find those spaces as well. He's very talented. I don't want a lot of these guys that have a lot of quality to not be able or not be given that moment to shine, because I think Esteval has the potential to be better than Endrick. Talking about guys that came out of Palmeiras.
Future's so bright for Chelsea, for these young players.